Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. Hurrah! What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Baby, Friday is here. Friday night's Eve, but shit, goddamn, it's almost the weekend. Hey, we got a really good show for you. Kind of weird, maybe, sort of. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Hey, what was the last? Do you know? Does anybody here know what the rule of 72 is all about? Well, it's very simple. Imagine being a PFC and somebody had shared these concepts with you. That if you divide 72 by whatever number of return, for example, your bank account that you're getting, that will actually give you the amount of time your money will double. So on average, most banks will give you a 0.01% of your money in a savings account. But imagine you being given a 1%. That means that 72 divided into 1 equals 72. So $1,000 in your account will take 72 years to turn into $2,000 untouched. Basically we're using compound interest. So if you're getting 3%, now it's 24 years. If you're getting 6%, it's 12 years. But now if you're getting 12%, your money will double every 6 years. So I guess the question you need to ask yourself is, how often do you want your money to double? So it does make sense 72 years or every 6 years, right? I know it's a rhetorical question, but imagine being able to put your money in vehicles and things that will give you that rate of return, as well as your money doubling that much quicker. So if you started investing, and this thing is true, numbers don't lie, but just like your parents ever told you, hey, if you start investing just $100 a month, hey, if you do even $25 at the age of 18, by the time you're in your 60s, that money will grow around to $600,000-$700,000. But the longer you wait, the more money obviously you got to throw in there for that money to do, compound interest to work for you. It's never too late to start saving, folks. So if you go to meetthemoneypro.com, schedule yourself a free 1-hour strategy session where I will give you some very specific tips and techniques that you can start applying immediately within, for yourself with your finances, and really set yourself up for financial success. And at the end of the 1-hour strategy, if something makes sense, great. We can talk about and explore what your options that you may have. If not, you can use that information immediately right away, but at least you got options. So meetthemoneypro.com, check it out. It's all on the show description, and at least get yourself right financially. We also do financial needs analysis and debt relief for free. So check it out. We get more information. And the other part too is that, hey, when was the last time you looked at your VA benefits? Where are you sitting on your claim status? Are you at 10%, 30%, 20%? So go on va.gov, and you can always appeal your whatever it was that you got, so that you could get something better. Because if you don't do anything about what you currently have, you'll never get what you currently want. So you can just sit there and keep wishing and hoping and complaining to your friends, to your fellow veterans, about what you got, instead of doing something about it. So if you need help with that, you can also hit me up too. You can go to again, same website, Meet the Money Pro, because that's where my calendar is. So you have direct access to my calendar. Again, if something makes sense, great. If not, that's okay too. But at least you have options. All right. Hey, this show, a huge shout out to Brian Coburn at Sitchradio.com. So if you want to be a podcaster, have your own show, that's the man that you got to talk to. Or if you need some coaching and mentoring for whatever it is, business venture or anything and everything, you want to write a book, Brian is the man to talk to. Get yourself with him. and get a session going and see what happens. All right. Hey, this show is also brought to you by the great American Constitution, what it brings you, and the rights that it has. So the right to bear arms, freedom of speech. I mean, to congregate peacefully and all that good stuff. I mean, and things whether we agree or disagree. I mean, we as veterans, we defended our Constitution as well as our freedoms and rights in every time and place. Kind of throwing the Marine Corps-ism in it. So if you like the show, like, subscribe, and follow. Please help me pump up my YouTube channel as well. So let everybody know. I got 7,000 people on Facebook. So come on, help a brother out and help me just boost the channels and the analytics. I'm also on TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I mean, you name it, I'm on. All right. So, but those are all the pleasantries. Let's get the show on the road. Let me see if let me get all the comments here so that way I can view them and throw them on here. And by the way, if you have thoughts, opinions about what we're going to talk about today, throw them on the show. I mean, heck, I'll even go as far as you can. I'll send you the link, and you can you can come on the show and share your thoughts and opinions. So, today's kind of theme is personal. It's kind of raw. And we're kind of explaining what patriotism, what the meaning of patriotism is, right? Especially for my standpoint as veterans. And I think I bring a little bit of a multifaceted perspective, not only as a veteran and somebody who's an American, but also as an immigrant who lived in a country that's had its very tumultuous type of history, and who's been pretty much all around the world. So but things like this kind of make my blood boil. So let me tell you, a little bit about why I served. I mean, I came to this country in June 7th, 1985. I mean, I still remember the day that we arrived here. As immigrants. And then I decided, after seeing some of the things that happened in Latin America, and particularly in Colombia, where I'm from, in the late 80s, where guerrillas tried to take over parliament and all that stuff. And that's when I saw Marines, they called in the military even to help. And obviously the commercials and all that type of stuff. So it just really made me, made me really want to join and do a higher purpose. Yes. And by the way, I don't know, because it's funny how we come full circle. Even when I was a recruiter, I mean, people think that those of us, the majority of us who joined the military, it's like we had no, that was like our last resort. We had nothing else to do but join the military, right? No, that is not the case. I actually had a couple of scholarships offered to me, but I just didn't want to go to school at the time. But I didn't want to stay home and not do anything. And I've had plenty of friends while in service who actually were officers, or who were started out enlisted and were in college, and they like had a change of heart. So that whole thing that I committed a crime and the judge gave me this or that, that's complete. I'm here to tell you that might have been the case maybe in the 60s, 70s, and things like that. But when I joined, that could not be the case, because you couldn't have if you had some type of record, that was a red flag for us. So that's basically it. Anyways, so that's kind of what I'm telling you. So last night I had a dream, right? I woke up kind of pissed off this morning. So let me share my dream just for a little bit. So I was, for whatever reason, the wife and I were at a baseball game. They play the national anthem, first few stanzas, all say, "Can you see?" and all that good stuff. And anyways, as I'm looking around, being the good patriotic Marine that I am, I look around and I see some people on the second tier or whatever. I don't know where the stadium is, by the way, But I see them. People are sitting there just chewing gum, smoking and joking, as we would say in the Marine Corps, and having a good time, but not doing their part. So so my wife is sitting next to me, and I was like, "Hey, I'll be after it was finished." I told her, "Hey, I'll be right back." So I run up there to the second stand and to where one of the first set of people were, and I was like, "Hey, so we're just gonna sit down and disrespect our national anthem and the veterans and everybody else who's pretty much died for it. While you guys here, I just having a good time. So that's what we're doing here, right?" And some people were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, hey, no disrespect, and apologies, whatever." So I went to the other side, and I pretty much said the same thing to those people, and they were like, "What does it really matter? Who are you? Whatever. This is my right. Whatever." So I was kind of getting here. I'm like, I was like, you do have a point. You do have a point. However, nonetheless, here in America, we respect our national anthem for the fact that some people are paid in blood and with their life for you to be able to exercise your right. The least that you can do is pay your respects, not going against your beliefs. It's just that in honor and respect for you to be able to exercise those rights. So I was kind of getting heated in this argument, and my wife is like, "Hey, babe, calm down." And I was, "Just give me a second. Just give me a second." And she's like trying to de-escalate the situation. And that's kind of that's when I woke up, and I was mad. I was like, "What the hell," But I was like, "It's just a dream. It's just a dream." So it just kind of got me thinking. What does it really mean, right? So we have to think about things in in a day and age where we're just very divided over a lot of things. Maybe it was just a reflection of something that I felt similar for a long time. I don't know. It just I kind of, the last couple of years, it's like we are in this universe where it's this side and that side, and whichever side we feel like, hey, it's this, it's not that. There's no happy medium. We're like, hey, we agree to disagree, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of our brothers and sisters, they didn't make it home. Case in point, I was talking to somebody last night, and they're actually today, a buddy of mine, and he didn't serve in the military. A mutual friend of ours, he was a fellow Marine, and he said, "Hey, did you do what did you do for Memorial Day? Is it Happy Memorial Day? I'm just curious." I'm like, "Well, for a lot of us who lost a lot of friends, it's kind of one of those things that it's not really, we don't say happy Memorial Day, because for us it's just a day of remembrance and those who didn't make it home." So so the same case in point is, it's kind of like those people who don't stand for the flag. I get it. Hey, look, you're exercising your right, and that's fine. I don't have to agree with it. It's just a gesture, like not standing for the flag is at least doing your bare minimum, right? At least, hey, here, the national anthem thing. Let me just at least stand, and you don't have to put your hand on your heart, whatever. But it's just, again, we're just paying respect because there's a lot, and you've heard me say this before. Not a whole lot of people. No country has a clean title when it comes to history, right? It's all about tradition, respect, and what you believe in is disrespect when someone else chooses not to stand. So while I may not maybe in my dream, I might have gone about it, or you know what, I would have done it anyways, because I mean, that's just me. I will say something, whether it's okay or not. It's some of us on here may say, well, that's their right. Yeah, 100%, that's their right. However, if they have, if they knew who the people that pay the price, the families that never got to see their husbands, their wives, their significant other come back home, or if you ever done funeral detail, I'm telling you, that is the when I used to work in as an inspector instructor, that was the worst, because most of the time those folks that you see doing the honor of the flag at a burial detail, they're from a reserve duty station. Most of them are permanent personnel that work at that duty station when the reservists are on deck, or some of them are reservists themselves. The point is that the people doing those services, and if you're a veteran or a retiree, you can actually request as part of your wishes to have a burial detail and be buried at a national cemetery, and somebody doing all that stuff. A lot of people don't know that, but you can't. That's actually, you can have that. So a lot of people choose not to stand, and the whole thing that we got going on. I mean, it's very complex. At what point does protesting become disrespect, right? I guess it becomes on the person that's actually, one, the person that's doing it, and two, and how the other person processes the whole thing. I mean, the whole movement. Here's a more better example. Colin Kaepernick. Some Americans what are some Americans trying to say, right? Or you can still. I mean, in my opinion, you can love your country and still challenge it. I think that you can go about it many different ways. I don't. When the national anthem says, it just to, again, I'm an immigrant myself, and my country, when I say my country, is where I was born and raised, has had a lot of history. Do I blame Spain for conquering us, and then when they play in Colombia, I don't know if it's still the case. Every week, we had our weekly reunions at all the students, and we would recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and they would play the national anthem, all those things, right? And it just, and even some of our stanzas say that, hey, it talks about the people that pay the ultimate price for our liberties and our rights. So I think that's same here. We're talking about all these folks, and we're talking about this battle. When Francis Scott Key wrote the national anthem, I mean, I think he was just talking about that battle, and specifically in all the things that went on. And by the way, you want to Google. There's a stanza on there that talks about folks, and where are those patriots who are not here, and it's actually talking about those who I believe it, who betray the country as well. There's a hidden stanza, or the missing stanza. You can Google this information, but it talks about just a lot of things. So again, we can agree to disagree. I just think that I think we need to become more united, and become as one. Stop not being so divisive, because you've heard me say this before, is that when the enemy takes advantage is when a country or a unit or whatever, when everybody's divided, that's when the enemy takes advantage of it. So as a vet, my service, and I gave, I believe in freedom, God, country, core, kind of like, all those things, that even the freedom that includes actions that I may not agree with. again, in my dream, maybe I went about it the wrong way. I don't know. Yeah, it's up to you. Throw your comments on the show. I think that just like I disagree with that individual for not doing that, I can have also my right express myself as an American to say, hey, I think you're wrong for doing this. As long as it's not just like we have other groups that maybe they promote supremacy and whatever else, uh, you know, and all those different things. Groups like the KKK and all those other anti-Semitism. They, I mean, they are. It's in, as long as they don't do it with violence and whatever else. I mean, it goes both ways, right? Just like there's been peaceful gatherings and people express themselves. I mean, even the Constitution covers those people. I don't like them. Most of us don't like them. However, it covers them too. So just like you're able to do your thing, and I may not like it for you not standing or whatever case, just like my dream. I mean, you're and like that person told me too, hey, this is my right. And I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. I disagree with you anyways. And that's it. I left it at that. Obviously, my wife was still, hey, calm down. Yeah, she was calming me down in my dream, right? So maybe people either a lot of people shout America first or reject the flag entirely. And we have a lot of movie stars too that they announce like, I'm leaving America, yeah, screw this, blah blah blah. It's like, dude, just don't announce it. Fucking go later. Bye. It's a right that you have, and I'm just using that that's the most extreme example. However, if you don't like somewhere, go somewhere else. I mean, the only thing that you can control is yourself. Why? As patriotic as I'll never forget where I came from, my heritage, my people, my culture, all those things. My mom brought us here for a better future and more opportunities. I know that. I mean, that's an unknown, but I can tell you this is that the chances of me being able to be a Marine, succeed in life, do a lot of things, those chances and opportunities went from this to like infinity by being here in this amazing country of ours. I mean, there's a reason why we have thousands of people at the border in Mexico and everywhere else lining up trying to come over here. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I know that. And me being a Marine was the least that I can do to pay back for those opportunities. It doesn't take away from the fact that I'm still proud from my heritage, where I came from, my dad, my family, all those things. It's just that, but on the other side, I'm proud to be an American, a citizen here, and all those great things, right? So, my dreams show two sides: one apologetic, and the other kind of dismissive. And that's today's America. It's like we flip the spectrum on so many different ways. And these last couple of years, with people rioting and all these these other extreme groups left on both sides, it's like, whoa, where did it all go wrong? So all we can do is move on and bring it back together and get to those times. And I'm here to tell you folks that a lot of times when things, the only time people become patriotic, I mean, during the 80s, we had what was the common enemy that we all had was the Cold War. It was the Russians. And that kind of brought people together. In the 90s, we kind of went, a little bit like this. And then 9/11 happened, and then we came back together. And 10 years later, it's like, well, everything just kind of went wonky there. And here's where we're at. And I'm telling you, the great reset when things like this happen is when something bad happens. It's because we let our guards down, and the enemy walks right in and just wreaks havoc. And that's the last place that we want to be, folks. So just some food for thought. So, I mean, are we so traveled that we just can't hear each other anymore? I mean, I have friends who politically are on the other side, and it's like, hey, you know what? And we have good conversations. I mean, and it's like, hey, dude, you know what? We at least we agree to disagree. So, and, you know, and just like I wrote over here, what happened to respectful disagreement? I'm like, you know, so it's got, it all comes down to education and going back in history and learning the lessons. I'm telling you, a lot of this now being almost 52 years old, a lot I kind of understand people my age when they talk somewhat like this, is that everything is cyclical, and just kind of times and things, just even though technology, and we may be far ahead in so many ways, but everything just kind of tends to repeats itself. So how can we return the flag, the anthem, the country to all Americans? What's the fix here, folks? I mean, should we just get back to the basics? There's a great book called by the late Robert Fulghum. Actually, excuse me, he wrote some really good books, but he wrote one called "Everything I Learned in Kindergarten," while in kindergarten. I highly recommend it. I mean, sharing. Wash your hands before you eat. Stand in line. Be respectful. Keep your hands to yourself. I mean, all those things. I think, you know what? I think the homework for everybody here is that everybody go out and research that book, or if you like audiobooks, Robert Fulghum actually narrates that book, and I've read and listened to that book so many times. I think it's amazing. Another great book that by him is "It Was Already on Fire When I Laid on It." That one's pretty cool, pretty good too. All those, but I think we need to get back to the basic, just so we can have local dialogues. Maybe go to a VFW, visit a VFW, visit your local American Legion, support maybe some civic education. Just go and express yourself and have this score and try to understand the other side. Again, feelings don't matter, in the sense that just because you feel insulted and whatever else, you know, that's you, and we can only allow how far we let those situations. Case in point, did that dream upset me? Yes, it did. It's just, I woke up and I told my wife about it after, you know, when she woke up later, but I didn't let it ruin my day or whatever else. This dream, and a lot of us get to that point, and we let situations and other things kind of dictate things that are completely out of our control. I mean, I can only control me. So at that point, I pretty much chose, hey, you know what? It was just a dream. I think I'm going to talk about it during the show, because I think we'll make some really good show fodder, I guess, for our discussion topic. But nonetheless, you know, we could choose to have a good day, just like we have situations and things in life in general that may be out of our control, and you just go through the motions, or maybe you just have to go through that time period to find out what the actual lesson behind that is, and take it in stride. Don't let the things that you can't control completely overwhelm you, because I think that's when we start going into that rabbit hole, and among other things. So, you know, just some things to kind of marinate on is that, bringing it back to what we're talking about. I mean, the flag isn't owned by one party or one perspective. It's ours. I mean, I don't think that was it Betsy Washington, the one who sewed up the flag. I mean, I don't think she's like, oh, you know what, this kind of, she's sewing, you know what, I think this flag is just more for these type of people, and everybody else just, you know, they can take it back. No, I mean, I think when we see that flag flying anywhere, it's just like, man, you know, that's I'm part of one of the best nations in the world. I mean, and if this thing falls apart, completely, let me tell you, the rest of the world is in a world of hurt. There may be other nations that may be, quote unquote, stronger. And if they take over and infringe their things upon us, I'm telling you, we're not going to like it. And I've been to places where people are oppressed. People lived under many different dictators, or one way or the other. And the freedoms that we have here, burning the flag and all, again, I don't know, agree, or you could be whatever you want to be. But if you go to another country that's religion ran and whatever, and your ways may not align with them, and people disappear, I mean, it's that extreme. So think about it when you try to, this place sucks and whatever else. Well, when was the last time you took a flight and go try to be whatever it is that you want to be? You want to be a cat, dog, all those things in another place. See how that plays out for you. I'm telling you, because I've seen it. A lot of us who've deployed and been to other places, you know what I'm talking about, right? So you don't have to stand. I guess for the final thought is, look, you don't have to stand for the anthem, but maybe, just maybe, we could start standing for each other again. Think about that for a second. I think that's a good place to end here. I'll just leave you with this other thing. If you've been ruminating, having a hard time looking in, seeing your way out, you feel yourself like kind of digging yourself into this dark hole that you can't get out of, and you need help, you want to talk to somebody, please reach out to the show. We can get you with Camp Hope up in Texas. We can get you in touch with a provider, people that will take care of you. Or you can reach out to Camp Hope or Ward Bill Foundation, Aaron Siebert, Chief Siebert. He's been on our show. But reach out to somebody. And if you haven't heard from a friend and the last time you did a buddy check has been a while, then reach out to a buddy and keep a chain going. Because the last thing you want is for you to be a statistic and have to read about you or say something nice at your eulogy. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for today, everybody. I think we're going to end Dex over here. But thanks so much for tuning in. Tune in next week. And with that being said, hey, hoorah, get some Aistamas, Daisuki. See you next week. Bye-bye, everybody.